It's a little after 4 in the morning, somewhere in the suburbs of Los Angeles. The whole city is still asleep, except one man. He's inside one of these houses. He has a weapon, and he is not coming out. Outside that same house, a SWAT team is moving into position to breach, the way they have 1,000 times. But tonight, the first thing through that door isn't going to be one of them. Because one single device is about to change the way SWAT runs every raid from here on out, completely.
You're clear to proceed.
Down on the ground now! Put your fucking hands up!
For about 100 years, police tactics have been built around one problem that nobody could solve. There's a house. There's someone inside who might want to kill you. And sooner or later, somebody has to go in and find out. That's what SWAT is for. That's what hostage rescue teams are for. Strip away everything else, and the job comes down to a single question. How do you get into a room without dying in the doorway? And for all that time, there was only one answer. You send a person in first, and you hope they walk back out. That's the part that's changing in police departments all over the United States. What's changing it isn't some billion-dollar weapons program. It's a drone small enough to buy online. This is the story of how a flying camera changed the most dangerous job in policing. To understand what's being lost, you have to understand what it cost. The discipline of fighting inside buildings has a name: close quarters battle, or CQB, and a single defining idea at its center. Instructors call it the fatal funnel. A doorway is a funnel. When you step through it, for a fraction of a second, you are framed in the light and completely predictable. Anyone waiting inside knows exactly where you'll appear. The whole craft of CQB comes down to surviving that instant, moving through the doorway so fast and so violently that the man inside never gets a clean shot. Take the most common version of this, a barricaded suspect, a man with a weapon inside a house who won't come out. For decades, the way you handled that was a slow climb. First, you contain the building. Then you negotiate, sometimes for hours. And if the talking goes nowhere, you escalate. Chemical agents, flashbangs, and then the option nobody wants, the entry. Officers physically going in to find him. That last step is where people get killed. Officers, suspects who panic, hostages caught in between. And here's the part that matters. The entry couldn't be skipped. You could put it off. You could talk around it for hours. But sooner or later, the only thing that could actually go and look inside that house was a person. That was the iron law of the job. To know what was in the room, you had to put a person in the room. And then, one night in Los Angeles, a police department broke that law for the first time. The shift didn't start with a bang, it started with a press conference. In 2019, in Los Angeles, an armed suspect barricaded himself inside an apartment and refused to come out. It became a standoff that dragged on for most of the day. Negotiation didn't work. Tear gas didn't work. And then the LAPD tried something it had never done before. It flew a drone inside. The drone confirmed the suspect wasn't waiting in ambush behind the door. Officers went in, found him hiding in the attic, and arrested him without firing a single shot. It was the first time the biggest city police department in America had used a drone this way, and it was a small preview of where the whole job was headed. This is Blake Resnick. He was a young engineer who became convinced that a drone could go into dangerous buildings so that people didn't have to. So he started a company called BRINC to build exactly that. The drone they built is small enough to fly down a hallway and up a staircase. It has a spinning blade on the nose strong enough to smash through a window so it can let itself in. And it carries a speaker and a microphone, which means a negotiator can talk to a suspect directly through a machine hovering right in front of him. A barricaded man can ignore a phone ringing and a bullhorn outside. A drone in his hallway is a lot harder to ignore. That one drone in Los Angeles didn't stay a one-off for long. Within a few years, police departments all over the country were buying drones built for exactly this and flying them into buildings before sending in a single officer. The companies making them grew fast. What used to be an experiment had quietly become normal equipment. And then the rules themselves started to change. The people who train American SWAT teams began teaching something new. They call it a drone-first approach. And the idea is simple. When there's a dangerous building and someone inside it, you don't send the team in first anymore. You send the drone. One trainer summed up the whole philosophy in a single line: own the inside with technology until you have to go inside with lives. And this isn't just a few departments trying something clever. It's spreading the way SWAT itself once spread. The blind entry, the thing every team trained for, the thing that defined the job, is quietly being phased out. So here's what a raid like that looks like now. 4 a.m, that same 2-story house. The team is stacked at the door ready to go in. In the old version of this story, the version that was true for 50 years, the next 10 seconds are the most dangerous of the entire operation. The breacher works the door, the flashbang goes in, and then 6 human beings flood through a doorway into a house where they do not know what is waiting. In the new version, nobody goes in. Not yet. For the next few minutes, the team doesn't move at all. They just watch a screen. The drone moves through the house and sends back a live picture of every room. As it goes, it builds a simple map on a tablet outside so the team can see the layout before anyone steps inside. On the second floor, the drone finds the suspect, sitting in a back room with a rifle. The drone also has a speaker and microphone, so the negotiator can talk to the suspect through it directly, without anyone going near the room. They tell him the building is surrounded and ask him to put the rifle down. The drone doesn't get rid of the entry. What it gets rid of is the blind entry. The most dangerous 12 feet in policing didn't get safer. They got scouted first. For the officers who would have died in that doorway, this is good news, plain and simple. The picture this video opened on, 6 people stacked on a door in the dark, betting their lives on speed and surprise, is on its way to becoming a museum piece, the cavalry charge of our era. But the same machine that ends a standoff without a shot fired is also something else. Think about what it actually is. A drone that can fly through any window in your house, map every room, and pick up a conversation from across the room. That's not just a tool for ending sieges. It's a surveillance machine, and nobody should pretend otherwise. And the same departments buying them for barricade calls are already sending them out to ordinary 911 calls before a patrol car even shows up. In one state, drone deployments jumped more than 250% in 3 years. So the old job is ending. The fatal funnel is closing. The most dangerous part of policing is being quietly handed to a machine, and the machine is only getting smarter. The newest drones don't just stream video back to a pilot. They fly parts of the job themselves, mapping a building room by room without anyone steering. The companies building them are pushing toward drones that can search a house almost entirely on their own. Right now, there's still a human watching the screen, making the call. The real question is how long that stays true, and what happens to policing when the thing going through your door doesn't need a person behind it at all. What takes its place is a quieter, stranger kind of power. A police force that can see inside your home before it ever knocks on the door, that can drop a voice into your hallway, that knows the layout of a house it has never set foot in. The only question left is who exactly ends up safer when no one has to walk through the door anymore.